John McClain, Hall of Fame columnist with us. 365 Sports. John, for many, many years, as you know, Nebraska football, like almost in some cases, ran college football. They were always going to win 9, 10, or maybe a national championship. And during that time as a fan, I never bragged about them. And I'm not going to bring up the Rangers and the Astros with you either. How?
Well, you should. The Rangers are doing a great job.
I know.
Rangers are going to win this series.
I was joking, but my question is, they're better on the road. Is there panic in Houston?
No, because there's not going to be panic even if they lose this game and they're 0-3. People know they were terrible at home this year. For no team with a losing record at home has ever gone to the World Series. They've been terrible at home in the playoffs. I was there yesterday.
Oh, cool.
It was amazing to me how bad Framber Valdez was, and they were in position to win 3 times late in the game, and he couldn't hit. Rangers pitching was great. It's the Rangers who are playing like a team that's a perennial playoff and World Series contender. It's the Astros that are playing like it's their first one because they can't drive runners home. 0-6 with runners in scoring position. Yesterday, 1-9 in the 2 games, and they're swinging at bad pitches. They're making errors in the field, base running blunders. They're just horrible. But my column that I'm working on right now says they have the Rangers right where they want them, on the road. They were hoping to steal one at home before they went to Globe Life Field. It's amazing how the difference between the home and the road has been this year, and it doesn't matter whether it's the playoffs. But I got a feeling the Rangers are built to last. Bruce Bochy has done such an incredible job since they blew the division and the bye. And on the last day, just incredible run. And if the Rangers beat them, as they should, then I wish them the very best against probably the Phillies.
John, there's a lot of hand-wringing about Dusty Baker's lineup choices, particularly his choice at catcher. Do you think that that's going to change at all? No.
Dusty's been doing that all along. Two pitchers, Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez, want Martin Maldonado. Martin can't hit any better than you can, Paul, and he can't throw, and he can't frame, and he led the league in passed balls, but they feel more comfortable him at catcher than Yainer Diaz. Next year, Yainer, who hit like 285, had over 20 homers in a part-time role, 60 RBIs. He will be the catcher. I'm scared they're going to bring back Maldonado on a 1-year contract to mentor Yainer Diaz, and I want him gone. He's 37 years old. He's going to be a coach and a manager. Let him do that. This is a complaint people have had here all year, especially with the emergence of Diaz, but it's not going to change. And Yainer's over his last 15 with 8 strikeouts, so keep his butt on the bench and make sure Michael Brantley is either at the DH or left field rotating with Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, John, you get to go to these games. You've covered sporting events your entire life. You've been at you've been to Super Bowls. We've all been to Super Bowls and all that. What is the one atmosphere that to you is the one that was always that stood out among hundreds, I'm sure, of games you've attended?
It's not the Super Bowl because there's so many fans of other teams there. And I've been to several Final Fours. And that was too, but to me, the home visitor role in sports. My favorite venue is Lambeau Field. You can't beat going to Green Bay for an atmosphere. And it's not like, say, New York or Philadelphia or New England or any of those places where the fans are cussing and fighting in the stands. That's not the way it is. I always tell everybody, you go to Lambeau Field in Canton, Ohio, then you've gone to the 2 cathedrals, and I love going there. And there are some places that are loud, but I would take some of those indoor advantages in basketball, college, not the pros, because the pros fans drink so much and they get drunk and they don't make noise like they do in college. That's why I can't wait to see Baylor, because Baylor's going to be good in that new venue, which is going to be reduced to make it even louder. I hope the acoustics were built and made to make it the loudest possible. Can't wait to see the advantage the Bears have.
John, the Texans get another nice win this time over the Saints. you look at the stats and nothing spectacular, but what has DeMeco Ryans kind of instilled in the team that allows them to be a lot more gritty than they were before?
Confidence in the coaching. They're 3-3. They're 3-1 in the last 4 games. Should be 4-0 because they blew the Atlanta game in Atlanta on the last drive when they couldn't stop them and Atlanta kicked a field goal with no time left. So they're not going to get out coached, and they may get out talented because they don't have nearly as much talent coming up next year. They're going to have between 80 and 100 million for free agency. And they still have Cleveland's number 1 pick and other draft choices. And it's amazing. I think right now, let's see, I guess Cleveland's 3-2, so their pick would still be ahead. But it wouldn't surprise me the way the Browns are playing, especially if Deshaun Watson stays out, as great as their defense is, that they don't have a record worse than the Texans, and they play here in December, which could be a big game for draft purposes. So the Texans are playing a lot of confidence. People are excited to go to NRG Stadium again. One of the coolest things about the baseball game yesterday, I was there. And after every team lets the home team go out, warm up, and right before the first pitch, they have usually a little kid down the sideline screaming, "Play ball," in this shrieking, high-pitched voice. And they went down and said, "Let us call your attention down the left field line for a special presentation from Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud and defensive end Will Anderson Jr." And the fans were even worked up, of course, anyway. But they gave him a really good ovation. And I think they would, number one, have been invited in the past because people probably would have booed. And in this case, people cheered them. And I'm thinking, I hope those guys are paying attention to this atmosphere, because if they keep winning, whether it's this year, next year, it's going to be the same kind of atmosphere at NRG Stadium.
John, you mentioned if Deshaun Watson stays out. I know that they thought he might be back sooner. Is that injury more severe, or is there something else going on with Deshaun Watson?
No, he's got a shoulder injury, and just like Anthony Richardson, they said, well, he's going to be out 3 or 4 weeks. Now he's out for the season, and he's needing surgery. Now, they're not saying that about Watson. There's one report from a longtime beat writer in Cleveland said he could miss multiple games. Adam Schefter said he could play Sunday. Well, you know what? One of them's going to be right, and then neither one of them's going to be wrong because they didn't say for sure. So the thing is, nobody has a clue how long Deshaun Watson is going to be out. But if P.J. Walker's their starting quarterback, they're in trouble. They can't trade for Kirk Cousins. You can't do anything for any quarterback who makes a lot of money because you have Watson's $230 million on the books and the biggest cap figure in the NFL next year. So they're going to have to tough it with a defense that's given up the fewest yards since 1971.
John, did you have any particular takeaways from Dallas's victory last night over the Chargers?
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to they're going to compete for the division. The Eagles, it's funny, and then other than the Patriots, no Super Bowl losers been back to the Super Bowl since the Steelers in the 90s.
Crazy.
And there's a reason. You would think the Super Bowl loser would be the hungriest team in football. So it doesn't surprise me that they're not operating on all cylinders. Losing to the Jets and having Jalen Hurts with a worse rating than Zach Wilson is just mind-boggling. Now they get Miami. Maybe they were looking ahead to Miami, but Cowboys still got a chance to win the division. But I haven't seen anything there that makes me think they're a Super Bowl contender. But the big deal is, of course, they're the last great team that we all thought was going to be a great team, the 49ers. Not only did they lose to P.J. Walker with a rating of 40-something, but they lost Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. So now they'll have to they'll have to operate like other teams that suffer injuries all the time. So there's not a great team right now. Miami and Tua Tagovailoa, they throw the ball great. Wait till they get in the wind and the rain and the snow, and we'll see how that offense operates when the season changes.
All right. So one of the things about that game last night that blew me away, Paul and I were trading text messages. Justin Herbert is like, if you had somebody that came out of a machine as a quarterback, he's kind of got that body, the look and all that too, and the arm. I was stunned how erratic he was. And yes, there was pressure on him, but I was really stunned that also his escapability is either not as good as it was, or he doesn't have it. And I'm not expecting him to run around like Josh Allen, but I was really disappointed with how he handled a lot of the key moments in that game.
And I'm with you. He's a really good runner. He can run, but he doesn't have pocket presence. And a lot of that is how much you get hit. Offensive line play is down around the league. Offensive line needs to hit in the offseason more than any area of the team, and they can't do it. And then they're getting hurt. So many offensive lines have injuries that affects the running game. It affects the quarterback, and you're seeing quarterbacks get hit more than ever. Touchdowns are down 30 at this time from last year and 100 from 2 years ago. So the offense has got to catch up. And coaches will tell you it all starts up front. I think I read that's 4 or 5 times now Herbert has had a chance to bring them from behind to win, and he's failed. And, of course, he threw that interception last night. You know the Cowboys were relieved. They knew they were lucky to win that game. They could easily have lost. But Justin Herbert right now, I believe, is headed for a coaching change in the offseason. I thought Kellen Moore would go out there and help him play better, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Garrett just sent me this tweet. Roger Goodell, contract extension that's going to bring his career earnings to $700 million. John, I felt like a couple years ago, it seemed like he was setting up to transition out of it, but has it just gone so well for him that, why quit now when you're making all this money?
And when the NFL owners are making all this money, that's just the tip of the iceberg on the money they make. He gets paid bonuses. His base salary is not that big, and he earns every penny of it. And at one point, remember, and it usually came with a player discipline, that people wanted him fired because it was an embarrassment, the decisions he was making on suspending players. And so they rode that out. And now everything is going so great. TV rates, streaming services, gambling's going to bring in $100 billion. Why in the world would you want to get rid of the guy that's overseeing it all?
All right, John, we appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for your great insight and experience and storytelling. We can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Second Bears in Cincinnati. Thank
yes, sir.
you.
John McClain with us every Tuesday at 5:30 in his